Hi everyone, this is Joy. Welcome back for another video. Today's project is for Kraftgali and I'm using the Square Grid window on the Slimline card. I'm also using some fun Lawn Fawn products to make a really cute Halloween card. Now I've started off by die cutting the first larger piece out of the Slimline Essentails dies. It's the Square Grid window. You've also got these stitched slimline pieces, and I'm doing some inking with Wilted Violet and black soot, and this is going to kind of be a background piece, so I'm not super concerned about making sure the coloring on the center part, or the inking, excuse me, on the center part is even, because that is going to be covered up. Now I'm taking the next smallest rectangular slimline die and I'm coloring that with distressed Oxide inks in Twisted Citron and Mowed Lawn, and then I'm adding a little bit of peacock feathers towards the top, which is a little bit different, but I like how it turned out. It's not quite as spooky, but you still kind of get that Halloween feel. So I'm just inking that up with my Tailored Expressions blender brushes until I get a good solid coverage. Now I'm going to be doing some Copic Coloring, and I'm using the Fortune Teller tabby. I'm using a pumpkin from Pick of the Patch. Then I've got the little ghost and the cat, and that is from Tiny Halloween. Then I've got some more bats from the Spooky Village, and these are all Lawn Fawn sets. So I'm just taking my Copic markers, coloring in each of my images. The Copic markers that I'm using for the pumpkin is YR04, 09, and 27. YG25 and Y19. And as you can see that I drew some of those pumpkin lines in, I just wanted it to feel more like a realistic pumpkin, so that's why I drew those in. Now for the cloth on the cute little Fortune Teller tabby's table is BV11 and 17, B63 and C8. I will come in with that C8 and add some more dark black, like, even though it's just a gray color towards the top and the bottom. This just kind of reminded me of the Haunted Mansion ride at Disneyland, and you have Madame Leota. That's kind of where this inspiration came from. And so using this Square Grid window, my vision was to add a bunch of eyeballs, and that's on the Tiny Halloween stamp set. And so I wanted to have little eyeballs all around, like this cute little cat is summoning all these little ghosts. So now I've colored the cat in C4, 6, and 8, and then R20, a little bit of pink for inside of the ears. When you're coloring a black cat or a black object, you actually don't want to use a black marker. You want to use some darker grays. And as you can see, there's some light spots and dark spots on the cat, but it still comes across as a black cat. So just a little tip there. Now I'm going to come in for the ball with B0000 and B000. And the base of it is going to be C4 and 6. I'm using these blue colors just a little bit around the ball itself. I want it to look like it's glass. And so when you're coloring something that's either clear or white, if you use light grays or light blues or light turquoise, that works perfect. That cute little hat on the kitty is YR09 and 04. And then we've got the yellows for the moon and stars. The little ghost is T3. I added just a little bit of T3. Now my pumpkin did bleed because I oversaturated it, and I'm just taking my blender pen, just coloring that and adding a little bit of heat gun in between, and it just got rid of all of that. Now I'm using the coordinating dies from all of these stamp sets from Lawn Fawn and running that through my die cut machine, just taping that down with some Scotch removable tape, or any low tack tape would work just fine. So just lining all of those up and die cutting those out. Now here is the Square Grid window, and I'm going to tape this down and run this through my die cut machine, and that's that green background that we already inked earlier. And I'm going to make sure that when I'm taking out the little squares, I'm putting them in order, because we're going to be putting them back in when we're all done adding all the cute little eyeballs to it. So you want to make sure that your colors match up to where it fits in the little holes, the little squares. So now I'm prepping each one of these little squares with a powder tool, because we're going to be stamping one set of eyeballs on each square and using some Lawn Fawn glow-in-the-dark embossing powder. I wasn't able to show you guys the glow-in-the-dark stuff on this video because my craft room has really good windows in it and it just doesn't get dark enough to show, but they really turned out really cute. I went and took it into my kids' bathroom because it's very dark in there. So now I'm sprinkling on the glow-in-the-dark powder, dumping off the excess, and taking my heat tool, and I'm going to do that for each and every one of these, just using my tweezers, cleaning up any areas that need to be, that has little extra embossing powder flakes, and moving on. Now I'm going to take the other eyeballs. There's 3 sets of eyeballs, and I'm going to stamp 3 more on each one of these squares in black ink, jet black ink from Lawn Fawn. And this is just going to look like little eyeballs are looking everywhere. And I love the little shapes of these. They are just really super, super cute. Now I have taped that grid in place, and I've added some adhesive in each opening, and I'm just popping in each little square right back in its place. And then I'm going to pull that frame part of this cardstock off of there, and then we'll add some foam tape behind that because I do want this part to have dimension. And then we'll have this cute little scene with all these little eyeballs looking around. I do love foam tape behind this. You also could die cut using Stick It and Fun Foam, and that would give you dimension as well. Now I did decide to stamp a face on this pumpkin. Really super cute. And this is from Pick of the Patch, and I just stamped it with black ink. Now I'm taking my sentiment from Tiny Halloween, and I'm cutting off the UR because I just want the word spooktacular. And I'm going to line that up, and the top part is going to say spook, and then underneath is going to say tacular. So I'm going to line that up, and then I'm going to take some tape and do some masking on the part of the word that I do not want. So there I am lining up that tape. I'm going to ink that up with some black ink, jet black ink. Then I will remove the tape and stamp that down, and you'll see that we've just got the first word, spook, right there. Make sure you clean off your stamp really well. And now I'm lining up the second part of that word, which is tacular. And again, I'm going to mask off the first part of the word and ink it up. Again with that jet black ink. Adding the mask down, inking it up, remove the mask, and stamp it down. Really super, super simple to change how your sentiments will look on your card. Now I'm going to add a few little bats, so actually just 2 little bats, inside of this magic globe. And we've got this cute little kitty. Just a little bit of liquid glue, using my tweezers to hold that, and just placing that down. And I just love how this little image turned out. I think it kind of has all the classic Halloween colors, which just feels really fun. Now that that's done, we're going to put this card together. I'm going to center that little tabby cat right in the middle, use some foam tape behind that jack-o'-lantern, and then add this other little black kitty to the front. I've got 3 little ghosts. I did decide to stamp more ghosts and more bats. I felt like 1 was not enough. And so we're gonna have these little ghosts tucked in and around the pumpkin, the top of the cat, and the side of the cat. And they're just peeking around everywhere. And I think this size of ghost is really super cute. I'm adding just a little bit of liquid glue and using my tweezers to hold it in place for a few seconds until it dries. Lawn Fawn's glue tube dries pretty quick. You have some move time, but then it dries pretty quick for a liquid glue. Then I adhered that little kitty down at the bottom with foam tape. And now we're gonna add these bats that just look like they have maybe flown out. Oh, actually, we're not gonna add the bats yet. I'm sorry. We're gonna add the sentiment first. I was gonna add the bats, and then I realized, nope, I got a stamp. So the sentiment at the top says, I predict your day will be. And then inside the magic ball says Spooktacular. Now I need to add the cute little bats, and there's 2 different sizes, and it just looks like they flew out of that magic ball. That's in my imagination when I'm making this card, and I just kind of have them around everywhere. Really super cute. Just a little bit of liquid glue. Coming in with a white gel pen, adding a few highlights, one to the cat's bandana and to the black kitty and on the pumpkin. And then also coming in with a black glaze pen to the eyes of the ghosts. And I want this ball to look like glass, so I'm coming in with glossy accents. Filling up that ball, completely covering everything, and we've got this great magic ball. There's the black glaze pen for the eyes. I'm going to pop this onto a white slimline card base, and we are completely done. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by. If you like what you've seen, please thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, comment, share. I love all of that. I do have some affiliate links below. It costs you guys nothing to use, but it does continue to help me. So thank you so very much, and I appreciate it, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.